Hello, everybody. Good nerve Shabbos here. Ephraim Schwartz calling you from Yerushalayim, Ir HaKodesh. Beautiful, staying here for Shabbos, as I like to come here for Chanukah to be Mekayim Bechatzros Kodshecha, to light my candles, just like in the days of the Beis HaMikdash. Let's see. There's my little menorah. Where is it? There you go, over there on the doorpost. And it is so amazing to be in Yerushalayim, to walk around. And Baruch Hashem, we have tourists back here in Eretz Yisrael once again. And Baruch Hashem, let's see if we can get a good shot of me over here so you guys can see skinny Rabbi Schwartz. If you don't, you can certainly see me. There we go. In my Mishpacha magazine column that came out this week, which is very exciting. Once again, back there again about the entrances and the portways to come into Eretz Yisrael. It's in my weekly email. I'll try to send it out as well to you guys, maybe in the WhatsApp group, so you can get a great link for it. And Shabbos Chanuka, the holiest of the holy, a Shabbos filled of light. And we always read in this week's Parsha, the Parsha on Chanukah time, we read about Parshat Mikeitz. We read about Yosef and the dreams of pharaoh and the brothers, they're reuniting together once again with the brother Yosef being pulled out of that dark pit and being raised to glory. And there's so many ramazim, so many hints to Chanukah in the Parsha. The Mefarshim are full of them because it's a Shabbos of light, and we have to find the light. And where's our light? Our light is in the Torah, of course. If you look at my weekly email, which you should subscribe to by sending me an email at rabbischwartz@yahoo.com, you'll see how much Chanukah gelt is in the Parsha and what its hidden meaning is. But I want to start off with a different idea, because I have been wiped this week. Baruch Hashem, so many tourists coming into Eretz Yisrael. It's been nonstop. And even though they closed the Shemayim, still, Hashem is still letting Jews come back here into Eretz Yisrael, and they're sneaking in, they're coming in. And Baruch Hashem, it's almost like Hashem wants us to have this extra kedusha, this extra feel for how special Eretz Yisrael is, and we can't just take it for granted anymore. Everybody that's here, no matter how much, but wow, that excitement that they finally made it to Eretz Yisrael, they got in, is exciting. And I guess Hashem is going through people and saying, you can make it, you can't, not yet, but you have to be right. But there's this building drive and energy to come into Eretz Yisrael. And that drive, that energy really to come into Eretz Yisrael reflects in tour guides who get Chanukah gelt again this year, but also that we get wiped. I've been to Rosh HaNikra a few times this weekend, Metula and Tzfat, and Yerushalayim, and the Dead Sea, and the Yam HaMelech, and Ein Gedi, and Meretz Hashem continuing next week as well. And I'm tired. And I'm just looking forward to Shabbos before this weekend, because I could finally rest up. And what do you know? I opened up my Nesivas Shalom, and there is such a powerful idea about these Shabbossim, how, in fact, they're not Shabbossim that are we meant to sleep. And there's a great remez here from Reb Nochum of Chernobyl on our week's Parshat. It says, Mikeitz shnasayim shanim, and it was yamim, and it was at the end of 2 years of days. Pharaoh cholem, and Pharaoh is dreaming. Now, it doesn't really tell you what the 2 years are of. Now, for those of us that remember last week's Parsha, right, the 2 years were that after Yosef asked for the butler to go ahead and give him his dream, to go ahead and tell him to borrow, and it slept out 2 years, and we learned from there that you're supposed to have bitachon in Hashem and to daven, right? But again, it's not clear exactly why is that connected to and it was the 2 years of days, right? And so, and there's also should be a message for us in this Parsha as well. And so Reb Nochum of Chernobyl says that this is a message for all of Klal Yisrael, for all of generations, because he reads the word shnasayim not as 2 years, but rather from the word as homiletically almost as shnasayim of sleeping, shena, laila tov. And he says every single Jew, every single Jew will come to a time when he's just slept away so many days. And we, what he calls farshluffeneh, days that you're just wiped. We're just living our lives and doing the same old again and again. And we're missing out on what life is really about, on the excitement of life, on the energy of life, on the kedusha, the mitzvahs, the Torah, everything that we have over here that we're supposed to accomplish in this world, right? We fall asleep, we get tired, we get caught up. And ultimately it'll come a time when it's shnasayim shanim, right? When we've just Mikeitz, the end of it is here. We're done sleeping. It's time to wake up, right? But what happens when we're sleeping, right? You know what happens when we're sleeping? Pharaoh cholem. and Pharaoh starts to dream. Who's Pharaoh? Pharaoh's that Yetzer Hara. And he's dreaming about how he's going to take us over, how he's going to take those years of plenty, the years that we put in, the years that we were inspired, the years that we were growing, all of that. And you know what he does? He go ahead and brings in those skinny sheep, those skinny cows, and the thin sheep, and they're going to swallow those days up. And all of our mitzvahs are going to be taken up because we're sleeping. Because we've lost that energy, and that is the terrifying dream that we start off over here. That same dream, by the way, if you think about it in terms of Chanukah, is the same idea of Chanukah. We had the Beis Hamikdash, we have that we've returned after the destruction of the first temple, and we're building up, and we're becoming powerful, and we're finally entrenched in Eretz Yisrael, and we go to sleep. Right? We go to sleep, and slowly Alexander comes in, and he gives us Alexander the Great gives us the only independent nation, the entire Greek Empire. When he comes to Yerushalayim, he comes into the old city walls, and he sees Shimon HaTzadik coming out to greet him, and he gets off his big white horse, and he bows down to him, and he spears Yerushalayim, because he says, every time I go into battle, I will see that rabbi before me in my dream, before I see him over there. The equivalent of Alexander, obviously, bowing down would be Donald Trump coming to Rehov Chazonish and B'nai Brak and getting out of his big white limo and bowing down to Reb Chaim Kanievsky. It's a high moment. It's an inspiring moment. And then slowly Alexander comes in, and we have the Beis Hamikdash, and we're independent. We don't have to worry. And we go back to sleep again. And slowly but slowly, we become more and more Greek. We introduce Alexander. We become Sender, becomes a good Jewish name, and everything becomes a good Jewish name. And we take in the Greek culture, and we make our synagogues, and everything is all Greek and beautiful. And we've become entrenched into our America and our Greek, into our culture of the nation, and we forget about the point of it all, right? And Pharaoh starts to dream. And Greece starts to dream, and we can get these Jews, and we can finally eradicate Hashem. Not by going ahead and killing the Jews, but rather just by putting them to sleep, giving them soft, beautiful Greek music to fall asleep to. And that's what happens to the Jewish people. But then we come and wake up from that dream. We come up with the Maccabees that go ahead and they take that strength, and they say, we're not going to let those bad years go ahead and slowly, that darkness slowly swallow us up. And we're going to stand up, and we're going to be inspired once again. Mi Hashem Elai, we give that call, and we redeem the Beis Hamikdash, right? And in fact, our Parshat tells us then the interpretation of Yosef's dreams. He says, how do we fight that dream? How do we get out of that sleep? How do we go ahead and break the famine and the doom that is coming to us? And Yosef tells Pharaoh, he says, you know what you do? You got to stock up on the good days. It's too hard to fight against the negative powers. But if you've got enough built up and tap into those good moments that we have, if you grab that light when Hashem shines it on the world, then that'll hold you even in the dark, mere dreary days of the other seasons that we have. We've got to go ahead and then we can go ahead and survive. There might be those dark, those skinny cows coming up. There might be those pharaohs dreaming, but we're strong enough. We're able to go ahead and to prove that we can do that. And if we if we stock up hard enough and big enough, and we grab those opportunities of light, then we can go ahead and survive and even raise up those bad years and make them plentiful. In Al Hanisim, we go ahead and we repeat this concept again and again and again. It's almost, I want to know another time we say this. Rabbim biad mi'atim, taharim biad tameim biad taharim, rishayim biad tzadikim, zaydim biad oskei sarasecha. You know what that is? Those are the good cows eating up the skinny cows. Right? It is that there is a huge amount of sleepy days. There's only ma'atim, but you know what? Those rabbim will fall in the hands of that powerful few good, right? There's the rishayim, there's the wicked, there's the taiva, there's the biyat tzadikim. But if we went ahead and we have real tzadikim, if we're inspired enough and we clap onto those things, then they can go and overwhelm all of the bad. Zaydim biyat oskei tzarasachar, Zayd and the sinners. There are so much sin in the world, so much things that are pulling us, driving us. But the oskei tzarasachar. But if we grab a little bit of Torah by our menorah, if we sit and learn on our Chanukah, then we can lift it up and we can overcome all of the darkness. That's the message of Chanukah. That's the message of our Parsha. And the idea is just don't sleep. Wake up from the sleep. So although I am wiped this Shabbos Chanuka, and though I'm ready to sleep, I've been psyched, I've been inspired once again to stay up, to try to learn, to go ahead, to grab the opportunity and the light that is shining in the world. The energy, it's been so dark for so long, with so many people haven't been able to come to Eretz Yisrael, but Hashem gave us a little window where people can start coming back to Eretz Yisrael again, where people can start bringing that light back with them, and they're so excited to grab that light. Hashem should bring that light to all of us this Chanukah. He should give that light of Eretz Yisrael, of Yerushalayim. The menorahs that we are lighting over here should shine to you out in Gullus and remind all of us that that's not where we're meant to be. We're not even meant to be over here, lighting over here in this courtyard. We're meant to be lighting in the Beis HaMikdash on the Temple Mount. And Amir Hashem, Ad Vizos Chanukah, by this week, Monday, we should have that great, great light come down from the Beis HaMikdash. And Amir Hashem will be Zeicha to a Beis HaMikdash, and we will sing the songs of Chanukah as we praise Hashem for once again giving us the light that will go ahead and shine through to the entire world. Have an amazing Shabbos, a happy Chanukah, and look forward to seeing you back over here soon. Good Shabbos.